This is Eddie Hearn, and we are weighing in, apparently.
Yes, weighing in with Eddie Hearn. Eddie, firstly, talk to me about this drip. Have you been taking fashion tips from Sonny Edwards?
I don't know, like the problem is I'm very versatile. You know, some people have the ability, or no ability, to mix it up in a wardrobe front. Myself, I can be corporate, I can look like $1 million on Wall Street, I can be looking like I'm standing outside the local off licence on Top Boy, but I have to also acknowledge that I'm 44. So sometimes I wear things like a little velour tracksuit and I walk in and everyone gives me a load of abuse. But I'm very comfortable in myself and in the fabric of this garment, and once again, I look a fucking $1 million. Thank you.
Listen, Eddie, you guys, Mathcroom, DAZN have been on the go back-to-back shows in the last month or so. You're free next weekend, but you top off your shows with a proper classic 50-50 British world title fight. How excited and relieved are you that fight night is upon us?
Yeah, I mean, when you make a fight and you don't really know the guys, sometimes you're like, I hope we get to fight night, I hope there's not any problems. With these guys, you just know, like, they're absolute consummate pros. They want a war. They live for the big nights. And for these guys, it doesn't get much bigger than this. You know, two guys that have been a major part of British boxing over the last few years, two guys we should be very proud of that will give their all tomorrow night. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. And, you know, I think the fight itself will 100% deliver.
Although Mathcroom have a break next week, we've got possibly the biggest fight we have on the Misfit side on the zone, KSI versus Tommy Fury. Rumour has it will be making an appearance. Are you going as a fan or as a VIP?
Definitely as a, well, I'm going as a dad because my kids are really excited about it, and I'm just deciding, you know, it's one of my only weekends off of the year, so looks like I better be going to the boxing, you know. So we'll see if we make the trip, but I think it's a great night. You know, I think I always say about Misfits, it's not something that I would, I don't say want to do or feel comfortable doing, but I think it's a great brand. I think Calla, Mams Taylor have done a great job on it. I think next week's going to do huge numbers for DAZN and for them. I think it's a great night, great entertaining night. Been following it all on social, and I think they're doing a lot of things right. And you know, if we can jam in 1 million subscribers for DAZN, it's going to benefit all of us. So good luck to everybody.
Who do you see winning that fight?
I mean, you should, you know, Tommy Fury should win the fight, but KSI's like a little bit wild. He's a bit unpredictable, and he's mentally very strong. But I think he's deluded is the wrong word, but like he really truly believes that he, and in life or in sport, if you do believe in yourself, it gives you a big advantage. But I would think you would say on paper Tommy Fury, but you know, I'm rooting for KSI.
Eddie, we're here with the weigh-in for Leeward, Josh Warrington. They've both made weight, but what did you make of this as you did?
I think that, you know, you see a lot of stuff online. I've been reading, oh, Leeward looks drained. He always looks drained. I mean, he made the weight better than he did in the last fight, but it's always tight. But he'll refuel healthy and big tomorrow night. Warrington looked well, looked fired up, and you know, both will be ready to give a great performance tomorrow night.
Obviously, Lee wanted this fight to be at the City Ground. It's landed here in Sheffield. But does that in some way make it a better fight because both sets of fans get to equal opportunities to score?
Yeah, I think that, you know, any stadium fight's a lot of fun, but this one kind of Sheffield in the middle. I mean, they've got to travel a little bit, both fans, but it's going to be nice and busy in there tomorrow night, and you'll see a great atmosphere.
There were a few grumbles online that Josh shouldn't have got a world title shot, especially coming off a loss. How do you as promoter justify that?
I think that he's been #1 in the division for a long time. When he beat Kiko Martinez to win the world title, then he lost to Lopez in, you know, a great fight that could have gone either way. Why not? I mean, you see a lot of fighters get opportunities. I mean, even like, you know, it was our show, but Jordan Thompson last week, did he deserve a world title fight? He was ranked, he won a regional belt, he rolled the dice, good luck to him. Josh has been time and time again at the top level, lost a razor thin decision for a world title, absolutely deserves a shot at the world title.
Eddie, one of the standouts for the show is the debut of one of the hottest prospects in the country, Cameron #1. How excited should fight fans be for his debut?
I think this kid's a superstar. You know, Sam Jones has been banging the drum about him to me. I can see, you know, sometimes you look at a kid and you go, you might have something here. You know, he looks $1 million. He's up with Jamie Moore and a great training team. He's sparring with Jack Catterall. Tomorrow night, at the start of the journey, I think he's going to do very well.
Like you said, Sam Jones said he doesn't want him fighting journeymen after his first fight or two. Does that put more pressure on you as promoters, or do you just stick to the plan that you have?
Oh, we love that. You know, that's what we want to hear, because we want fighters to be in as competitive fights as quick as possible.
Moving away from the fight, the biggest news on boxing is that we will hopefully have an undisputed fight between Tysonfury and Usyk. Are you happy with the fights made?
Yeah, of course, it's great for boxing. I hope it happens. Anytime there's an undisputed fight, it's great for the sport. We want to see who the best is in a division, and we hope it gets over the line.
On the flip side, Joshua Wilder, is that fight dead in the water?
No, not at all. You know, we're talking, we want the fight, and obviously when big fights get made, I think it gives everybody a bit of a kick up the backside, and hopefully we can get it over the line.
Mathcroom has said that IBF have sent both Fury and Usyk a letter to say that the winner will fight Filip Hrgović. It's rumoured that there's a rematch clause in the Fury and Usyk fight. So why don't you just cut through it and make AJ versus Hrgović?
We might, and that could be for the world title. We'll have to see. We feel like Hrgović should have been ordered already to fight Usyk, but if AJ gets a shot at the world title to become a 3-time world champion would be fantastic.
A couple of weeks back, we've seen the return of Benn. As his promoter, what was it like for you to see him back in action?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I think it was long overdue, and I thought it was a good performance and ready now to make a big fight.
Colin's had his BC ranking reinstated. When will we see him sort of pursue that and go for the title?
I think after the Eubank fight. I think that fight is too big to ignore, but after that I think you'll see him drop down to 147 and make his run at the world title.
So last one, Eddie, because you've still got people waiting for you. Away from boxing, we've seen how well the Fury Netflix series has done. Would you do a reality series on Netflix? Instead of Hearn'S House, it could be Hearn'S House. We'd see the battle between you and Big Baz.
Yeah, no, not a reality show, but I'd definitely do a show for boxing where you guys could see the ins and outs of this crazy world.
Love that. Anyway, thank you for
Cheers,
your time,
mate. No
Eddie.
worries.
Thanks for weighing in. Okay.